So yeah, this is Kal Kat. This is Calcaster. This is a review of episode 7 of Star Trek Prodigy, First Con-tact. Con/tact. Um, um, in this one, Dal encounters this weird Ferengi lady boss who who raised him sort of like how in Guardians of the Galaxy, the blue dude, the blue southern dude alien was raised Star-Lord. Same idea. And the con artist, like the blue dude, yeah, very similar idea. Except she's a Ferengi. We get to see the Ferengi ship inside. Chimerian crystals, of course, and a cloaking device, which he steals later. The Ferengi lady is apparently deceptive and insane, and now there's some Ferengi rules of acquisition that are set in there too as well. So we have, so the Ferengi lady shows up and she wants to go to this planet where there's these crystals and take one. The Federation hologram Janeway says they'll break the Prime Directive because they've never had any contact with aliens. They go anyway, even though there's no protocol to turn that off, apparently. Earlier on in the story, though, before they meet the Ferengi, they're testing the transporter. They're beaming things in it. They beam the Murph up onto the ceiling somehow at one point. Looks like he's outside, but I guess he's not. They beam him back in. Seems indestructible. And Murph is, of course, modeled after the character from the Orville. Anyway, so we have a we have a Gwen and a Dal. Dal seems to be a common name they use a lot on the newer Star Trek. There was other Dals and Tals. Oh, and Kals, yes. But yes, apparently the Ferengi lady sold the Dal to the diviner people, and they're looking for the ship. The ship's wanted. I don't know how that would work 7,000 light years away. Or Trek Yard said 4,000. It was 7,000. So we have this weird. The aliens on the planet are harmonic aliens, but unlike in that Transformers episode, Carnage in C Minor, it's not stupid. In that episode, their harmony was taken by the Decepticons. Similar idea, and they have to give it back. Similar to the Next Generation episode. There were a couple of those about that, but the home soil and some of the other ones. So we have. Yeah, it's very Star Trek. They mess up their Prime Directive. It almost gets them killed. They get sucked down into a thing. They meet the aliens, the alien crystal things. The Ferengi tries to steal the crystal. He gets away with the crystal, actually. Aliens, the aliens just want their crystal back. The Ferengi steals the crystal and beams back to his ship after betraying them, of course. And flies off with a cloaking device and the Chimerian crystals. Yeah. Clearly the producers of this show are familiar with, Chimera, which is awesome. In somehow. They watched it, perhaps. It does have hundreds of views. Of course they watched it. Although the Chimerian crystals themselves look more like something out of the Red Angel star system from Starcracker, so they mixed in their metaphor things. And then you saw, the Red Angel was in Discovery. Actually, we thought of it first. It was a star system in Starcrackers in 2012, but it officially goes back to 1992, so we thought of it first. Way long time before that. And that video is watched a lot, so they know. So we have, before even Discovery was even a thing. Way before that. Starcrackers, yeah. Space Vanguards and Canary Space and stuff. It was a little later, but that's what it's based on. Space Vanguard. Anyway, so the Ferengi lady gets the cloaking device, the Chimerian crystals, but they put the comm badge on the crystal, so they're able to beam it back, which was clever. And then they beamed him back. Well, they beamed him back first, and then put on the crystal. And then the Ferengi ends up with no crystal. But then the Ferengi ends up seeing the wanted picture for the ship, even though they're 7,000 light years away and wouldn't have access to that. It's as if they're next door and they just have access to that. It's not how that works. But I guess if they have subspace super radio, then they can do that. It's a cartoon. Common thing in Star Trek, though, is instantaneous messaging between entire sectors of space. There's some kind of they try to review the logs that show that Captain Chakotay, and getting captured or something. The ship getting captured by what appears to be the diviner alien's friend, the robot thing that looks like it's the General Revis from Star Wars. Crossed with Megatron. I think I call it the Omicron. That'd be funny, but no, they didn't. Omicron. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine. The whole story arc is actually kind of dark. It's kind of adult for. I mean, it's not. It's dark for. It has themes in it that are adult, even though it's a kid's story. Nothing bad, but it doesn't talk down to pander to the children. It tells them a story about profit and loss and loss and family and all that stuff, and it isn't smarmy like in Fast and the Furious where they say it's about family. No, they don't do it. They don't go that far. They don't say, okay, they're all family. It's more like they learn to be with each other, and that's more natural than a bunch of car race bandits that were changed into somehow like hired gun FBI A-team, indestructible guys, and their family, which really makes no sense. This one, it makes sense because they've grown to be with each other. Sure. So that's my review of episode 7, First Con-tact. And no. Transform Dash, which is from the Transformers Godmaster Force translation from the Japanese, in which the guy would constantly read when the Autobots were going to transform. He would read transform dash phonetically, transform, and there was a dash written on the screen on the script. So he'd be able transform dash. Like, you don't need to read that part. He kept doing it. Transform dash. It was like that. Yeah, don't read the dash. That's just emphasis. Like. end of the yeah. But he'd read it. That was funny. Anyway, so yeah. So there you go.